All right, welcome everybody. It is Tuesday night and it is time to do some stamping. My name is sorry. My name is Julie Brown. Welcome to my channel. It's called Julie's Creative Stamping. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome if this is your first time being with me. I'm really excited with what I'm going to be showing you tonight. I've been kind of working on it all day, kind of tweaking it and trying to make it a little bit easier to do. So hopefully you guys will love the card and you'll want to make it at some later date. So let's get some housekeeping out of the way. If you guys want to talk to me, you can just type in the comments, let me know you're here, and then any questions you might have you can put in the comments as well. For those of you that are my customers and that order from me, and if you're not one of my customers, but I'd love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you can order through me at juliebrown.stampinup.net. That is the hostess code for May. You can also reach out to me at juliescreativestampin@gmail.com. I have Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram pages at Julie's Creative Stamping. My YouTube channel, you have to put juliebrown.juliescreativestamping. And then always check out my blog, stampinjuliebrown.blogspot.com, because the cards that I show you, but that I don't put on, I don't necessarily do a video on them. They'll be on my, eventually they will be on my blog. It takes me a while, it takes me a little bit of time, a few weeks to get them up there, but they will eventually be up there. So again, if you want to make a comment, just type in any questions that you guys might have. So let's look at what we're going to be working with tonight. So we are going to be working with these 3 stamp sets, actually the bundles. So I'm going to show you the bundles really quick first. So the first one I'm going to show you is the Happy Hedgehog bundles, and it comes with the stamp set and the punch that punches out the hedgehog. Now this one is it's carrying over to it's in the new catalog, but it's also still available as a bundle because it was in the mini catalog. So if this is something you end up liking, I would suggest you get the bundle before you can't get it anymore as a bundle. Okay, the next one that we're going to be looking at is the Sweet Songbirds Bundle. And this one also, it's a stamp set photopolymer, so is this one. And it also has a punch that punches out the bird and a couple wings and the beak. All right. And then the last one, and we're working with a couple die sets that aren't here, is this new Charming Sentiments. And what's cool about this Charming Sentiments is, you know how I'm always fussy cutting around when I stamp something? This has the dies that does the fussy cutting. So they match up and it looks like you've just fussy cut around them. All right. So let's get started with our project tonight. I need to pull in a piece of scrap paper. I'm going to move all of this to the side, and then I did a lot of the prep work ahead of time because this is just a card that takes a little bit of time. But we are going to go ahead and, let me get all of these out of the way so you guys can see what I'm doing. Always good, right? All right, so we are going to start out with a piece of Whisper White. Whisper White. I keep doing that. Basic White. Basic White, Basic White. I'll get it. And we are going to bring in one of our new in colors, which is the Tahitian Tide. And we are going to bring in our blending brushes, and we are going to basically blend in a sky. And you do that by just tapping, and then just, I always start off the page, and then I come onto the page. And the reason I do that is because I don't want, so like, let me show you. If I were just to set it down, like right there, that's what you would get on this paper. And I don't want that, so that's why I always start off the page and then come on the page. All right, so we're just going to just bring this down. This is our sky. Now, I really did a fusion tonight because I used a lot of different dies. And I have to tell you, I saw this idea, not this blending idea, but the overall idea was originally done by Kylie Bertucci from Australia. And when I saw it, it was so stinking cute. But I came in and I decided I wanted to be able to do one that was a little simpler than the one that she did. But I did do one kind of like hers, but using the same stamp sets that I'm using tonight. And I am going to show you that afterwards. And I have a couple other cards that I did with the Sweet Songbird. So stay tuned for those. You will see those at a little bit later. All right, so then I brought in, well, where did I do with it? Granny Apple Green. And I am going to blend in the bottom. And this is just going to kind of give sky and grass is basically what we're seeing here. And again, you'll see that I start off the page and I come onto the page. All right, so now we're going to be doing some stamping, and I'll try to remember to tell you which the stamps that I'm using, which set they come with, because again, this is a total fusion of 3 different stamp sets, 3 different bundles, and so I want to make sure I'm telling you as we go. So the first thing that I'm going to do is there's this little tiny grass, and that's from the Happy Hedgehog. So it's this stamp right here that I'm using, and I'm going to come back in with that Granny Apple Green, and we are just going to put some grass all the way along the bottom, but I'm going to kind of leave some space between because I'm going to bring in another color just to give it some dimension. So that's one way to give things a dimension, is when you use 2 different shades of like a green. All right, so there is the Granny Apple Green, and then I'm going to bring in Old Olive. Whoops, sorry. I'm trying to grab my chamois so I can clean that one before I put the old olive on here. So now we're going to come in with the Old Olive. And here we go. And we're just going to ink this up. And again, I'm just kind of, see how I left that space, and so I'm just putting this between that space. So all the all of the dimensions and card cuts, that's all going to be on my blog. So make sure you check that out to get all of the specific dimensions for all of this. Okay, so next I'm going to come in. Now this limb is from the Sweet Songbirds. So there's the limb, and that's what I'm using right now. And I'm going to come in with Early Espresso ink. And we're going to ink this up. And then we're just going to bring a limb in. Let's see. About right there. I hope I didn't get too high, because I'm going to be bringing in some birds. And then we'll do another one right there. All right, so there's the 2 limbs, and that's in Early Espresso ink. All right, and then next, we are going to bring in, okay, I'll just leave that. I'm going to bring in some leaves, and the leaves are also from the Sweet Songbirds. It's these leaves right here. And I recently re-inked my Mossy Meadow, so it's like super, super dark. And so I don't want it to be that dark. So I'm going to ink it up, stamp it off, and then stamp it onto here. And always realize that when you have a blended color that you've put on there, like, you know, I had this color, it's also going to kind of change the color of the ink that you're using. Anytime that you're stamping on top of another color, it will do that. All right, so we've got that right there. Let me clean this off. All right, and then I am going to go ahead and, or am I? I'm trying to decide if I want to start building. No. Okay, let me put this to the side. I am going to bring in my Stamparatus because what I'm going to show you here is this is a really good way to, when you have a punch and you want to try to be able to stamp it so that you can punch it, this is what I do. And I don't remember how I set this up, but I have a piece that I already punched, and then here's my bird that it punches out. And so I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to set this bird up. Now, this doesn't always work because sometimes, because when it cuts it out or punches it out, it leaves some white around it. So if you don't get this bird, like you don't want the bird like touching any of the edges. And the same thing with this little wing here. So when I'm setting this up, I don't want this piece to be touching any of the edges, because then it leaves, then when I go to cut it out, it'll leave to, it won't fit into the punch correctly. So this can be somewhat subjective as to whether it's going to work okay. I haven't worked with this a ton, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get this exactly the way I want it. Right, so we're going to move that down there. And then let me just stick this underneath. I use this often. I use this underneath here to help support. So I'm going to bring in another one of our new in colors, Sweet Sorbet. And I'm going to ink this up. So I hope you understood what I did with that piece of paper. So basically, I used my punch and I punched out that piece of paper, so that became like my stencil or my guide for how to set up the stamp. And we'll see if it works. It may not work, but it could. Like I said, sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't always work is because of what I just told you about the fact that sometimes when we set that stamp in there, we tend to try to secure it, like, you know, I move the stamp around and then it kind of doesn't move because I have it up against one side. Well, when you do that, it kind of messes up the layout because, again, the punch is going to leave a line around it. Okay, I'm going to pull this one out because I'm going to need 2 of these. So I'm going to pull that one off because I'm going to need 2 of those, and I can leave this guy in there for now, and we'll move that out of the way. And so hopefully, so the idea of doing this is that it is now lined up so that when I put it in here, both of those are lined up correctly. So this one actually did pretty good. Except I didn't leave I should have given myself a little bit bigger piece of paper. Okay. So see how that worked to cut both of those pieces out? And again, now you've got another one of the stencils if you need it. Okay. But I need one more of that little leaf. It's not a leaf, it's a wing. I don't know what I'm talking about here. And so I am going to take that and just stamp that on this piece of paper that I've already been using. All right, and then we are, oh, see, I should have paid attention. So let me redo that. You need to pay attention to how it goes in, because I basically did this on the exact opposite side. So I'm kind of glad I did that, because now you can see what not to do. All right. So if I'm looking at my punch, do you see the way the punch wants to cut that way, right? But I'm going to be putting the paper in this way. So I want to stamp it like so. So that's always something to keep in mind as to how it's going to go into the punch. Like which side of your paper is going to go into the punch. And then you just bring it in like so, and then we're going to cut another one of these. All right, there we go. Okay, so if you guys saw what this is called, so Kylie Bertucci came up with a way to make these Angry Birds. And so I never got into the whole Angry Bird game, but I know a lot of my friends did. And so I'm going to show you how to create these Angry Birds. Now there's two birds in this set. There's this one that matches the punch, and this one that I had to fussy cut out on my own. Now I want to show you some of the things that I did here. Some stuff that I cut out ahead of time. So these are the limbs, and I just stamped those onto a piece of basic white, and then I cut that out so that there was no white showing. Now, do you see all these little dots in here? Now, those little dots, and I use the clouds. So from the Give It a Whirl die, I used this right here to get both white and black dots. And I needed the big one for the white and the dark one, or the little one, for the black. And then I also cut out some of these clouds. All right, so we're going to build our little Angry Birds. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So it's pretty fun. Okay, first thing is we're going to take the little wing, and we're just going to apply some liquid glue, maybe, if it works with me tonight. We're going to put that liquid glue on there. Okay, so we're going to put that wing like right there. And then we're going to take that other wing, and we're going to put this one this way. And again, this whole Angry Bird idea, totally Kylie Bertucci's idea. She figured out how to do this, and I basically stole the idea from her because it's cute. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, and you guys have seen me use this before. Basically, this is just, I bought this little container from Amazon. Lisa Curcio is the one who taught me about it. And I just put this glue inside this to get a smaller and thinner edge. Okay, so I'm going to pull out 4 of these large white circles that I just showed you I cut from that Give It a Whirl die. Hey, Shanine. So I cut these little white circles from the Give It a Whirl die. And I'm just going to put some little dots of glue. Then I am going to use my Take-A-Pick tool to pick up the eye and put it on there. And you want your eyes to be far enough apart that you can get those angry eyebrows on. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing over here, just a little dot and a little dot. Pick it up with the Take-A-Pick tool. And we got both of those eyes there. Okay, these two might be a little close, so I'm just going to scoot this one over just a bit. Okay, so remember I told you from that die, and for those of you that just got here, so I used the Give It a Whirl die, and I cut out some clouds, and then I used this die right here to cut out the white, and then I used it again for the black that you're going to see me put on right now. All right, so again, I'm just going to put a little dot. Whoops, that was a big dot. And again, I'm going to pull out maybe, oh gosh, that got up in my fingernail. That's never good. So I'm just going to pull out these little black ones, pick it up with my Take-A-Pick tool, and we're going to add that. Now, you guys are more than welcome if you're good at drawing little eyes and circles. You would not have to use a die for this at all, but I'm not. And so that is why I use the die. Okay, so there's the eyes on that one. Let me get this a little bit closer so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right, so then we're going to do the same thing on this one. Put one there and some glue there. And again, I'm going to pick up the little black dots, and I'm just using my fingernail. Now, if you have two Take-A-Pick tools, which I do, you could use this end, and then you could use this end to be holding that little piece down. Like where my fingernail is could be your other Take-A-Pick tool. Okay. All right, so that's what we've got. Really cute little birds, right? So if you don't want to make them angry birds, you don't have to. But Kylie Pertucci came up with this idea, super cute. So remember that's the limb. And I stamped it in black memento ink, and then I cut it out. And so now we're going to take this and we're going to bring in our paper snips. And we are going to take this, and this is going to be those like upset eyebrows. So I'm going to cut that one, and I'm going to go ahead and place that one just so I kind of can get, then I can get the other one placed. And again, I'm just using a little bit of liquid glue. Hold on one second. I have to turn off my notifications. I've got stuff coming in. There we go. All right. All right, so now I'm going to take this and we're going to stick that across there. Like I said, I never did the whole Angry Bird game and stuff, but I know my grandkids did, and they love the Angry Birds. So now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to bring it in like so. And I'm just going to, whoops, snip that. And again, this was not my creation. This was totally Kylie Pertucci. She designed this, and I loved it. So I decided to show you guys. I tried it and I liked it and it came out cute. So I decided to show you guys how to make Angry Birds. I know it was a really popular game at one point. Okay, so there's one. Look, he's angry. Oh, sorry, I moved him. He's mad. Do you love him? Okay, so now we're going to come in on this one and we're going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to use this limb again on this side. And it basically needs to go right here. I apologize if you hear my dog whining up there. Wes is supposed to be keeping him occupied, but I heard Wes go outside and now he's up there like crying. So So you may be hearing a crying puppy for the rest of the night. Okay, so then I'm going to take this one and again do the exact same thing. We're just going to go across the other eye. And bring in the glue. Now I did, like I said, I prepped a lot of this ahead of time. I'm going to be honest with you. Make this is kind of what, this is called paper piecing, and paper piecing does take a little bit of time. And so this would be one that you want to make when you've got plenty of time to sit and cut all the pieces ahead of time. Okay, so there's our two angry little birds. Do you love them? I think they're so cute. Okay, we're going to set those to the side. Oh, and one other thing too is I want to bring in a light crumb cake. Kylie Bertucci gave me this idea too because apparently the angry birds are, they're not really, they're kind of grungy looking, I guess, because they're angry. And so we're just going to come in with light crumb cake blend here and color in where they're white here. And that's just to, I guess, grunge them up a little bit. Okay, so there they are, right? There's our little birds, our little angry birds. Okay, so we're going to set these two to the side and we're going to, oh, shoot. And we are going to bring back in, if I can find where I just set it. Oh my gosh. I hate it when I do that. Oh. Okay, so remember this? We got this done. Let me come back out on this. So now we're going to kind of start building our I can't even think of the name of it. Oh my goodness. So we're basically we're going to build our card front now. Okay. So I wanted to use the hedgehogs. And so what I did is these little mushrooms, it's part of the hedgehog. So remember, I've got 3 different stamp sets here. So this is part of the hedgehog. And so I stamped these. I colored these with markers, not blends. And then I cut them out ahead of time. And I'm going to bring in the clouds that I told you I die cut out of that Give It a Whirl die. And here's my other mushroom. All right. And then I pre-stamped and colored in with markers my little hedgehog. And then I also stamped this Everything Will Be Okay. And this is from that new Charming Sentiments. And I'm going to show you how cool this die is that cuts this. Okay, so now we're working with the hedgehog. And again, it's a punch. So we're just going to feed this up into the punch. Like so. And then we're just going to punch him out. Now, again, just like the birds, the hedgehog, so let me show you. The hedgehogs have 2 hedgehogs. The punch punches out this one. This one I am going to show you. I did do this one earlier just to show you that it's pretty easy to fussy cut around this one. So, but the punch does one, and same thing with the bird. The Sweet Songbirds, it punches this out, but it does not punch this one out. But then I fussy cut this guy out. So not very hard to do. Okay. All right. So now we're going to have our little hedgehog. So I'm going to kind of build my scene for my hedgehog down here because he's going to kind of be hiding because there's going to be some angry birds up here, right? So he needs to hide behind his mushrooms, right? Because those angry birds can do some damage. I've seen a commercial with them on it. I think it's an insurance commercial. I think that's the most I've seen of the angry birds. So we're going to glue that one down there. And again, we're trying to give you the image that our little hedgehog is trying to hide behind these little mushrooms. Okay. So we're going to put a little bit of glue here. Okay, now I don't like that this is just kind of stark right here. So what I want to do is I actually want to bring in my old olive, I think, marker. And I'm just going to kind of do a light little, well, maybe not because it's not working really good. So I just kind of want to do like some little lines right here to just kind of make it look like it's just like not just sitting there. So I'm just kind of, let me bring that closer and show you what I'm talking about. So yeah, and you could do it, I mean, this one's covered, but you could do it here too. And it just kind of gives it, like it looks like it kind of made the grass indented around where the mushroom is. All right. And now what we can do is we can bring our little hedgehog in and stick him so that he's hiding behind these mushrooms from these angry birds. All right, so he's going to go right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring the card base in because some of these other pieces I'm going to be popping up and I want to put that together first. So I picked a Sweet Sorbet card base, and this would have looked good with the Tahitian Tahitian Tide, because I used that. It would also look good with an early espresso, but I wanted this to be a little bit brighter, so I'm gonna put it on a sorbet, Sweet Sorbet. All right, so let's just get that on the card front so I don't have to worry about trying to adhere that when it's already popped up. And don't forget, I'm going to be showing you some other cards that I made. I made cards just with the Sweet Songbird is what I started out with today. And then I decided to bring in the Happy Hedgehogs for this particular card that I'm showing you. But I've got some other cards that I made with that one. Okay, so here we go. This is where we're at so far. Alrighty, and then I am going to bring in another mushroom over here, even though this one will be covered up a little bit by the sentiment. But this one's going to go here. And again, I'm going to come in with that old olive and do that little, to make it just look like there's some grass underneath that. Just give it that look that we're looking for. All right. So then up here, I think this one is probably a little bit. So I'm just going to use a couple of the clouds. So we're going to put one right there. And it's going to go here. And then I'm also going to show you another version of this card, which is basically the one that Kylie Bertucci used a different, she didn't use the hedgehog, she used something else when she was creating her Angry Birds. But I am going to show you what she did to make it look really cute with some heels and stuff. Again, with another one of our die sets. Okay, so we're going to take this little Angry Bird and we're going to set him right there. And then the other one we're going to actually pop up. So we're going to come in with some liquid glue for this little guy, this little mad Angry Bird. I think sometimes in life we feel like we've got a lot of angry people around us, right? Looking at us, right? Waiting to get us, okay? And then this one is going to sit right there, but I'm going to pop him up. Isn't the Angry Bird just a clever idea? I mean, good on Kylie to think about that. Maybe because I really never got into Angry Birds is why I probably wouldn't have thought of this on my own. But it's a super cute idea with this set. But these birds are super cute without being angry as well. So keep that in mind. All right. So this one's going to be popped up. And it's going to go right here. Okay. So we've got our little angry birds. And we've got our hedgehog hiding down here, right? Okay, so now let me show you this new, you guys know I love sentiment stamp sets, right? They're like my all-time favorite. Well, this just went the extra mile because you know how I sometimes fussy cut around my sentiments. Guess what? That's what this stamp set, this bundle does. It actually has all the sentiments and then it has a die that fussy cuts around it. Ah, is that awesome? So I'm going to show you how that works. And just so you guys can see, if there's not just one set of dies, there are 2 sets of dies. Plus it's got some little like butterflies and stars and hearts and other things that you can add on as well. Way cool. Okay, so I've already stamped this. Let me bring in my... I was going to use my little mini one, and I don't know where I set it. I've been kind of rearranging down here. So we're going to bring this one in, and I believe it's this one right here. I hope I have it right. Yeah. And I mean, it fits like almost exactly. So I'm going to go ahead, and I am going to get this die in place. And I'm going to use some of that Post-it note stuff that I use. It's like a Post-it note washi tape. And we're going to send this through. Wait till you guys see this. Oh my gosh. This is going to be one of your favorite sentiment sets. And 2, you don't have to fussy cut because the dies will do it for you. You guys know me, right? If I can find an easy way, I'm going to find it. And Stampin' Up! Just outdid themselves with this one. All right, so let me put that back over there, that over there. So look, isn't that awesome? So I didn't have to fussy cut around it. The die did it. Whoop, whoop. Okay, and I'm just gonna pop this up right down here, and I'm actually gonna pop it up. How fun is that set, right? So much fun. And like I said, you guys know I love sentiment sets. I kind of collect them. I'm gonna say if I hoard any stamp sets, it's probably sentiment stamp sets because I just like them. All right, and then we're just gonna take this and we're gonna stick that right on there. So it says everything will be okay, which I kind of like because, you know, it's like, hey, you're walking through the mushroom patch. There's some angry birds above, but everything's going to be okay. So now let's finish this up on the inside. And what we're going to do here is bring in our little, the little hedgehog, the one that the punch doesn't punch out. And I am using black memento ink, and then I'm going to show you how I colored it in with the markers. So I'm just going to stamp him in this little corner down here. And again, let me get this cleaned up. Are you as excited about that sentiment set as I am? Oh my gosh, I'm so in love with it. All right. So then I just came in and I used soft suede, and I used the brush tip. And I just basically kind of do this flicking motion so that, because I kind of want, you know, the hedgehog has those little pointy edges up here, and I don't want that to not be there. Here, let me get a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So I just, like I said, I just kind of do a flicking motion and kind of get a hold of that up there. And I just kind of flick up into those edges. I learned this flicking technique, although I'm not great at it, from a Copic class that I took a long time ago. And then I'm going to go ahead and just kind of flick some color down here. And then I'm going to come in with the crumb cake marker. And we're going to just color in his ears, basically the rest of his little body in the crumb cake. And again, I'm still using that flicking motion because it just kind of gives it a more realistic look for an animal. All right, so there we've got our little hedgehog. So now let me go back out. Whoops, wrong way. I always do that. Maybe it'll come back. Okay, hold on. All right. And so now I'm going to use that same sentiment stamp set. Of course, this time I'm not going to be fussy cutting it out, but it says wishing you everything wonderful. So it says everything will be okay, and then wishing you everything wonderful on the inside. So it's kind of a perfect sentiment to go with our angry birds, isn't it? It's like you'll get past the angry birds. You can do it. And wishing you all the best. And let's hope I got that straight because my head hit the camera. I don't think I got it quite straight, but I went to lean in and my head hit the camera. Alrighty. And so then we're just going to stick that on the inside. And like I said, this was 3 bundles that I used for this card. 3 different bundles. I called it a fusion. But you know, I think it's good that you guys see me do this because I think it's good that you see that you need to start combining your bundles. Okay, so there we go. Right? Everything will be okay. You'll get away from those angry birds. Wishing you everything wonderful. Fun, right? Okay, so let me show you. So do you guys remember these layering dies here? The layering diorama dies? So I want to show you the version that Kylie did, where it was a lot of it die cutting out. Now this one's really bright, super cute. But what she did was she cut out these dioramas, cut them in half, and then put them on the card front to make the heels. Isn't this adorable? So super cute. Now she used, she did do the heels and she did do the angry birds, but she ended up using that Peekaboo Farm and she actually made a little fence and had a pig hiding behind the fence away from the angry birds. So I did this one with the same thing on the inside. And this is Tahitian Tide for this card, but super cute. So I got, like I said, I got this main idea from Kylie, and then you can see how I took that idea and I changed up this stamp set from hers, and then I completely changed how I hid the hedgehog here by just doing a little softer. This is a little bit of a softer image, okay? But this one's super cute, really bright, super cute. Okay, so the next card that I did with the Songbird is this little card here. And I brought in the Hues of Happiness Designer Series paper. I brought in some of our twine to make it look like the bird is building its nest. And then look at this fun little sign. So this is like the little stamps that make this sign that says welcome. And again, I punched this out and did the bird. Oh, I forgot to, that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to put their beaks on. I'll do that in just a second. Glad I looked at this. And then on the inside, it says, "So happy you're here." And I just used the, I used like this stamp and the leaf stamp. And then it's got this little flower stamp as part of that Sweet Songbird as well. So super cute card. So let me do that really quick while I'm thinking about it, because this also punches out from the punch, the little beak. And so I forgot to put it on. So let's put their beaks on, right? Oh my goodness. Can't have angry birds without the beaks. Okay, so there we go on that one. I'm so glad I looked at that other card and I was like, oh, I forgot to do that. Totally forgot to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to pick that up and just set it down. Okay, there, much better. They have their beaks now. Okay, and then this one I did as a gift card holder. It says, "A little bird told me." And I used the 2022 through 24 designer series paper. And then I stamped all of the branches and the leaves and the flowers. And then it says, "You've got something to celebrate." And so let me show you. If you have a little card, like gift card, it'll fit right there. So super cute little gift card holder. And I just put this bird on the inside there and put it, and I use the starry, what's it called? Starry Sky are the colors that I used for the bird and the designer series paper and the cardstock. All right, so there's a bunch of different versions of the Sweet Songbird. Of course, two of these versions, it's not such a sweet songbird, right? So, but yeah, just a really fun set. There's so much that you can do with these birds. And even if I took off this bird would have been cute with just doing those eyes like that instead of the eyes that you can stamp on like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I gave you guys some food for thought about fusing together a bunch of different stamp sets. And yeah, it was tons of fun today. So I hope, again, I taught you guys something. I appreciate you guys being here with me. Just a heads up, my class is this week. So if you plan on coming and you haven't let me know yet, please don't forget to let me know. So I'm doing a Thursday morning class, a Thursday at 10, a Thursday night at 5:30, and then a Saturday at 10. So if you want to come, let me know. Also, the big news is May 28th, I will be having an annual catalog open house here at my house from 10 until 3. And that's a kind of come, do some make and takes, see the new product, and then go. So it's not something that takes a long time. So there's going to be some make and takes. There's going to be a door prize drawing for anybody who shows up. You'll get your name in that. And if you bring someone with you that's never been to one of my class, you'll get you'll get your name put in extra times to possibly win that grand prize, door prize drawing. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for being with me tonight. I hope you enjoyed this songbird. Again, it's Sweet Songbird. And so let me just real quick, I want to put up, so I use the Happy Hedgehog Bundle, the Sweet Songbirds Bundle, and the Charming Sentiments Bundle. So 3 different bundles. Plus I showed you how to take those layering diorama dies and create heels with that. I didn't show you specifically how to do it, but I did show you how when you cut it out, what you can do. It's this card right here. Sorry, let me move all these. It's this card right here that we use that to make the heels. So again, thanks to Kylie Pertucci for coming up with this wonderful idea to make angry birds out of these birds. So much fun. Again, ladies, have a good night. Appreciate you being here, and I'll see some of you this week. And if I don't see you this week, be back here next Tuesday. Talk to you soon.